There's a reason why some men leave a woman thinking about them for days, while others are forgotten before the conversation even ends. It's not about being the best-looking guy in the room. It's not about showing off your confidence, your money, or even your charm. It's about knowing how to plant the right emotion in her mind at the exact moment when she least expects it and most needs to feel it, because the female mind isn't wired to respond to logic or surface-level flattery. It responds to emotional weights, timing, and subtle tension, the kind that lingers long after you've left the room. And here's the truth. Most men never figure out. You can say all the right things, compliment her looks, ask about her day, talk about your goals, but none of it will matter if she doesn't feel something deeper, something she can't explain but can't shake. That's what these 7 words do. They don't just compliment her. They tap into her sense of feminine identity. They bypass her defenses and whisper directly into her emotional memory, the part of her that replays your voice at midnight, wondering if you meant more than you said. Say them the right way at the right time and she'll hear your voice while brushing her hair, while lying in bed, while scrolling through her phone, pretending not to care, but wondering why her heart races when she thinks of you. Because with just one sentence, you go from just another guy to the man she can't stop thinking about. So if you're tired of being forgettable, if you're done trying too hard, and if you're ready to create instant, lasting emotional impact without chasing or playing games, then this video will show you the exact 7 words that make a woman feel seen, special, and quietly obsessed with you long after the conversation ends. Let's begin. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a conversation with a woman where everything felt fine on the surface, but deep down, you knew she wasn't feeling you the way you wanted? She smiled, she laughed, she replied, but later there was nothing, no message, no follow-up, no interest. And you thought to yourself, what did I miss? But here's the brutal truth. No one tells you women don't remember you for how nice you were. They remember you for how you made them feel when the word stopped, when the room went quiet, when the energy between you shifted and something landed inside her chest. Not because it was loud, but because it was true. That's what this video is about, because there's a moment, a tiny window, when a woman drops her guard. And in that moment, if you say something ordinary, she forgets you. But if you say the right thing, the right 7 words, she'll be lying in bed later, scrolling her phone, staring at the ceiling, asking herself, why can't I stop thinking about him? It's not about being clever, it's not about being alpha, and it's definitely not about using pickup tricks. This is about emotional precision. It's about understanding female psychology on a deeper level, the part of her that no man ever really reaches because they're too busy trying to impress rather than connect. You see, most guys talk to women the way they'd pitch a product, selling themselves, listing achievements, trying to stand out, but women aren't looking for presentations. They're looking for moments that feel real, moments that break through the noise in their world and speak to that unspoken vulnerable part of themselves that they usually hide from everyone else. And that's why these 7 words matter. Because when said calmly, intentionally, without the need for validation or outcome, they don't just sound good. They feel dangerous in the best possible way. They make her feel seen, not for her looks, not for her body, but for her essence. They stir something ancient in her, a craving to be understood, to be chosen, to be emotionally penetrated without being exposed. And once you touch that space in her, she can't unfill it. She might act cool, she might pretend she doesn't care, but in the back of her mind, she's replaying your voice, your tone, the way your eyes didn't flinch when you said those words. That's the power you hold when you learn how to speak to a woman's emotional core. So in this video, I'm going to hand you the exact 7-word phrase that does this, but not just that. I'm going to break down why it works, the psychological triggers it activates, and exactly when to use it for maximum impact. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't about manipulation. This is about truth, because the most powerful words don't control her. They set her free to feel something she didn't know she was waiting for. So if you're tired of being forgettable, if you're done watching other guys who say less, but get more, if you're ready to understand the actual science of emotional impression, then stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just know what to say, you'll know how to leave her thinking about you all night long. Let's begin. It's just 7 words. But in the world of female psychology, where emotion trumps logic and subtlety means everything, these words hit like thunder behind a whisper. They don't impress her, they haunt her. And that's the difference between what average men say and what you're about to understand. Because here's what most guys completely miss. Women don't fall for you in the moment. They fall for you after the moment when they're alone in silence and they can't stop rewinding something you said. Not because it was clever, but because it stirred something ancient inside them, something unspoken, emotional and deeply feminine. Now let's go beyond the phrase itself. Let's dissect this one line, layer by layer, and understand how to make it a permanent emotional imprint. 1. It interrupts her emotional pattern. Most women go through life being noticed for all the wrong things. Her looks, her smile, her body, her status. But deep inside, what she craves is to be recognised for something. She can't even explain herself when you say, "I haven't met anyone quite like you." You trigger her most powerful emotional question. What exactly does he see in me? And that question doesn't have a quick answer. So it loops in her subconscious. It sits quietly with her as she's doing other things. And that's how you stay with her when she's in bed in the shower, out with friends. You're there, not physically, but emotionally. Because that phrase didn't just compliment her, it unsettled her emotionally in a beautiful way. 2, it plants emotional curiosity. You didn't say you're beautiful. You didn't say I like you. You didn't say you're smart. You said something open-ended, something incomplete, something that forces her to wonder. I haven't met anyone quite like you. And now she's asking why. What made him say that? Did I reveal something? Was it how I laughed? Was it something in my energy? That's the genius of this line. It starts a story in her mind. A story that she has to finish, and the more she finishes it, the more she fills in the blanks. With you, your face, your tone, your vibe, your presence. This is how obsession begins, not through logic, but through emotional mystery. 3, it shows depth without desperation. Most guys either oversell or underplay oversell. You're amazing. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I can't stop thinking about you. Underplay cool, nice you're chill. But this line, I haven't met anyone quite like you, it walks the perfect masculine middle line. It says, I notice something real in you. But it also says, I'm grounded enough to just say it once and let you sit with it. That balance of presence and restraint is intoxicating to a woman who's used to men trying too hard or not trying at all. 4, it echoes in her emotional memory. Science backs this up. We remember emotions far longer than facts. We forget what people say, but we remember how they made us feel. If you say this sentence with emotional steadiness, eye contact and a moment of pause afterward, you will literally create an emotional echo in her nervous system. A week later, she won't remember your jokes. She won't remember what shirt you were wearing, but she will remember the quiet feeling she had when you said that, and she'll think, he saw something in me that others don't. That moment, that impression, that is what sticks 5. It makes you feel like a mirror, not a salesman. Women don't want to feel sold to. They want to feel understood by a man who has the courage to say it, but doesn't need anything in return. And that's the energy behind this phrase. You're not begging. You're not validating. You're simply holding up a mirror and saying, there's something rare here. I see it, I respect it, and that's enough. When you give that energy, she begins to crave it. Because now you're the space where she feels most like herself. And once a woman associates you with that feeling, She will never forget you. The perfect moment to say it. Timing is everything. Don't use this too early, and never say it when you're trying to impress. Use it when she's relaxed, when the conversation has turned just a little deeper, when she reveals something personal, a childhood story, a quirky habit, a fear, a dream, a wound. That's when you lock eyes, pause, and calmly say, I haven't met anyone quite like you. And then say nothing. Let it breathe, that pause. That's where she begins to feel you, not as a guy who's hitting on her, but as a man who sees past her walls and still stays. What happens next? She'll smile, maybe look away. She might deflect or brush it off, but when the night ends, when she's alone, that phrase replays again. She'll think of it in silence. She'll wonder why it hit so hard, and she'll feel you again. Not just as a memory, but as an emotion. And that, my friend, is what makes her think about you all night long. So now, it's not the pickup line, it's not the compliment, it's not some flashy, overused tactic. It's the emotion behind your words, the stillness in your delivery, and the calm confidence you carry that makes a woman stop, pause, and feel something she can't explain. You've just learned the 7 words that work not because they're magic, but because they reveal something rare, a man who speaks with clarity, honesty, and intention, not to impress, but to connect. And that's exactly what leaves a permanent mark. So the next time you're talking to her, when the moment feels right, when she lets down her guard, even for a second, don't try to be impressive. Be present, be still, and say, I haven't met anyone quite like you. Then let her feel the weight of your silence, because when a man knows his worth, he doesn't chase attention, he becomes the experience she can't stop thinking about. And if you want more phrases, insights, and deep psychological cues that most men completely miss, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, so you don't miss future videos. Give this video a like if it opened your eyes to how attraction really works, and drop a comment below. Let me know if you've ever said something that left a woman silent and why you think it worked. This is advice for you, where ancient wisdom meets modern masculine power, and we help you lead with clarity, speak with purpose, and attract with presence. Until next time, stay calm, stay grounded, and never underestimate the quiet words that echo the loudest.